Throwaway for obvious reasons. Man, has it been a horrible holiday. Long story short, my wife passed away 6 months ago, leaving me and my 2 younger daughters, 5 and 3. We've been working through our grief as a family. Every year we stay with my in-laws for Christmas through New Year's, and I did not want to break up the routine for my girls in a year that has been horrible. We arrived at their place on Christmas Eve. My in-laws have a big enough space for us and my wife's 2 younger sisters, 34 and 30. I'll refer to them as J and K respectively. J had been recently divorced and K is single, so it was just the 2 of them. We all consoled each other and got through Christmas. My mother-in-law tried to fill the time with a lot of activities to keep us preoccupied. It mostly worked. Daughters were heavily focused on their grandparents and I spent more time with J and K. Nothing really happened out of the ordinary other than J and I spending more time without our respective partners. Flash forward to New Year's and my in-laws suggested that they watch the kids and my sister-in-laws take me out for New Year's Eve in the city. They live in the middle of nowhere, so we booked 2 hotel rooms. One for me and one for my 2 sister-in-laws to share. We did standard dinner and drinks before transitioning to a party. It was fun to get out, but I was really missing my wife's absence. I didn't really admit it to myself, but I was insanely lonely. I think Jay was feeling something similar after her divorce. We spent most of the party with each other. Kay went off into the crowd and we didn't see her for the rest of the night. Jay and I drank and danced. We talked and reminisced. She has a few similarities between my wife. Some facial features, but very similar laughs. I think the laugh is what got me. One thing led to another and we were making out on the dance floor. I wish from the bottom of my heart it ended there. I think loneliness and 6 months of not addressing any sexual need got the better of me. We went upstairs and we slept together. I wished even the post-nut clarity hit me after the first time. It didn't. We did it 2 more times before passing out. The morning was awkward. We ignored it like healthy adults. From there, we went back to my in-laws, I collected my girls and we went home. So here I am filled with regret. Regret that I did it, regret that I liked it, regret this could blow up my girls' already blown up family, regret that I feel like I have betrayed my wife. So this isn't exactly something I want to share with friends. Random internet strangers, what would you do? I'm in a bad headspace now, but my best guess is to call her in the morning and say it was a mistake and it can't happen again. Therapist is on vacation, so my sounding board is absent. Great start to 2023 after a horrible 2022. Guess it only gets better from here. The first issue, fear is complicating the situation for your daughters potentially. In principle, you did nothing wrong. 2 lonely adults seeking comfort. But your late wife's parents also lost a child, and the other sister her siblings. They could react badly if they find out, and your children probably need the familial support, as do you. Second issue is that your sister-in-law was proxy for your wife. That is not quite fair to her, in my mind. You are hopefully in grief counseling, but I would recommend taking a step back here. You are not a bad person, nor is sister-in-law, but you both are grieving the same close family member, which complicates things. So sorry for your loss, OP. I feel this is pretty normal that you are feeling guilty and attraction at the same time. I don't think you've done anything wrong, just that if you don't think it will work in the long term, you can explain that to Jay. I'm way too worried about it not working out and it blowing up the family. I want to keep things as stable as possible for my girls. I don't know if you have to call her, unless she calls you. It seems you both did what you did, and that's the end of it. But please let go of your guilt. You need to be as kind to yourself as you can be. In my opinion, neither of you did anything wrong. You didn't betray your wife and she didn't betray anyone either. It was just a normal reaction to circumstances. Explain to her this can't happen again. You value her as a person and thank her for the support, but this was something you both made when you both were down and needy, and it can't happen again. Grief is hard and sometimes messed up. Be kind to yourself. But I also would not pursue continuing this with your sister-in-law. It could be harder in the long run and could create a mess no one can resolve. There are some support groups for you, I'm sure, even online if needed. Try to reach out so you feel less alone. I am so sorry for your loss. Whilst not ideal, I do think that you are massively overthinking this. Neither of you cheated, it was consensual and you both got caught up in the moment. I wouldn't be framing it as a mistake, but you do need to talk to her rather than ignoring it. Even if you agree not to do it again, just reassure her that she's done nothing wrong. As like you, she's probably feeling conflicted. I don't think this is that bad. You both have had a terrible year. There was no cheating, you both probably just needed it. I absolutely wouldn't be messaging her and telling her it's a mistake. Sorry for your loss and good luck. Yes, a mistake is probably terrible framing. I'm sure she is just as conflicted about this. Let it go and remain friends with her. You didn't do anything wrong, it just feels like you did. You and her just reminded each other that you are human and it felt good to be loved for a night. Don't worry about it and let it go. I'd avoid the mistake terminology. I'd wait a few days and write her and let her know that it's obviously not something that can continue, but thank her for being supportive. And maybe find a way to let her know it wasn't a mistake for you and you did enjoy your time together. It sucks having something happen and worry that the other person will find it awkward or fear it will mess up a relationship. Just be honest. Let her know the comfort in this really difficult time was bittersweet in a way. I'd open it up to a coffee chat or something if it's possible, and just take a walk and talk about how it felt for you both. Keep in mind you're both struggling, and it's okay to struggle together with communication and boundaries. I'm sorry for your loss as well. Sending love and hope to you and your girls. Did you use protection? If not, I'd be asking her to get a plan B. Life is too complicated for you to bring another child. Though you did nothing wrong, this doesn't look good for you. People will question if you had something prior to your wife's death. Sounds like two people that were sad and lonely during the holidays, decided on a hookup that hurt no one. Be grateful you found one another, and honest with her that you two should probably not pursue it any further. Unless you both want to, you're adults after all. I am so sorry for your loss, mate, but you didn't do anything wrong here, consenting adults. Work out if you want a relationship with Jay, and then talk to her. But please talk to her. You are probably both feeling guilty due to the circumstances, but I think you are both in the clear here. All the best and good luck. I can't find the post plus updates. But one Redditor fell in love with his former sister-in-law after his wife ran off with drug dealer, and the sister-in-law lost her husband. They were there to support each other, and it grew. They are now married. Exactly, OP, talk to her and have an honest conversation. You never know if the feelings are mutual and you may develop something beautiful and healthy that will be beneficial for both of you and well as your kids. You are both dealing with grief and you found comfort in each other. There is nothing to be ashamed of. I know of a very happy couple who are married now, been married for nearly 10 years, where the roles are reversed. The wife is the surviving member of the first marriage, and the husband is the brother of her deceased husband. They grieved together, found comfort with each other, and loved each other. The youngest child was not even a year old when her father passed, and she is now 22, and her uncle has been in her life in a relationship with her mom for nearly 20 years. The two children absolutely adore their uncle. If you decide to do nothing else with your sister-in-law, or decide that you both want to have a relationship together, remember that apart from your children, the only people whose opinion matter are yours and hers. It's pretty normal to have this types of weird things happening after trauma. You need to talk with her to know what's her stance on what happened. Probably you were two souls fighting loneliness and it happened, maybe it's just that, maybe it's more. Doesn't mean it will happen again, doesn't mean it will not happen. But clear the air with her and see where to go from there. Just don't bring it up. See if she does. To be clear, you didn't do anything unethical. You didn't cheat on your wife, and you didn't betray anyone. Yes, people involved might have heavy feelings about it if they found out, but that's on them, not you. I swear some people's moral compass is messed up from here to hell. How anyone can rationalize and excuse this is beyond me. Two people grieving blah blah blah. WTF? If you needed to get laid, couldn't it have been anyone else besides your sister-in-law? Really? You were obviously not that drunk. This was wrong. It will always be wrong, and no amount of pampering from Reddit will make it okay. Grief is awful. I'm really sorry for your loss and how you're feeling. I can understand why you feel guilty though. Your wife is gone, you slept with another woman, and it wasn't a random, it was your wife's sister. Do I think it was a good idea? Probably not, and neither do you since you feel such guilt. But there's absolutely nothing you can do about it now besides moving forward. I'd make sure this wasn't something that occurs again. If a relationship was to form, it would forever confuse your daughters, and the rest of the family, and the sister after a while would probably feel like she's compared to her sister, or you are just with her now because she reminds you of her sister. Maybe not, as I'm sure there have been many positive stories of this situation working out for some people. It's just not ideal. It's happened, don't be so hard on yourself. You just torpedoed your relationship with your in-laws because you were horny. Hope it feels great, man. Not to mention you essentially used your wife's memory as a rag. Just know that however you're hurting right now, your daughters are going to be hurt 10 times more. I think you don't need to say it was a mistake, but rather it was rash and unconsidered by yourself. Tell her that at the moment you are definitely not in any headspace to be sleeping with anyone, let alone something more. Right now the important thing is being there for your girls.